Welcome to the Deep Dive. You've brought us a fascinating stack of sources this week, all revolving around the latest in artificial intelligence. This is for September 8th to 14th, 2025.
That's right.
Our mission today, well, it's simple really, cut through the noise, get to those critical nuggets, and give you that shortcut to being truly well-informed about AI this week.
Yeah, and this past week, it's really shown us that AI isn't just, a tech marvel anymore. It's this dynamic force.
Right.
It's reshaping business policy, even how we interact as humans. So we'll be exploring everything from big shifts in AI company strategies, these massive funding rounds.
Huge numbers.
Exactly. And also crucial regulatory talk and some genuinely surprising applications. The goal is really to give you a clearer picture of what's actually important right now.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
First up, a story that I think really highlights how AI development is evolving.
Yeah.
And maybe the workforce too. XAI, the company behind Grok. They made some pretty big changes.
Yeah, they did. And what's really fascinating here is the strategic pivot by XAI. So they laid off at least 500 general AI tutors. These were the folks categorizing sort of raw information for Grok's training.
Okay.
But it wasn't just downsizing. They simultaneously announced plans to surge their specialist AI tutors group by, wait for it, 10 times. 10x.
Wow,
and they're focusing on gathering really high-quality inputs, things like specific audio recordings, video sessions.
Right.
And this move, it followed some high-profile departures. Their CFO left, and it happened just, 2 months after the Grok 4 model launched back in July?
So this isn't just about cutting costs, then, is it? It feels more like a deliberate shift towards maybe more specialized data, more efficient curation.
I think that's exactly it.
Is the big takeaway that quality is really starting to trump quantity for training these big models?
Precisely, yeah. If you connect this to the bigger picture, it really suggests a refinement in how these companies are approaching training data. They're prioritizing, depth and quality in specific areas over just broad general annotation, maybe less quantity, more quality. So the insight is, well, the future isn't just more data, it's the right data, curated by these specialists, almost like digital artisans.
That definitely changes the kind of skills needed in the AI workforce, doesn't it?
It really does. Big shift.
Okay, speaking of talent movement, you also flagged Apple losing a top AI manager, Robby Walker.
Yeah, Robby Walker. He was a senior director working on the still delayed Apple intelligence-powered Siri.
Right, the one everyone's waiting for.
Exactly. He's set to leave at the end of October. Now, he'd recently moved to a new internal AI search team, leading something called Answers.
So what does his leaving signal? Is it just the intense competition for talent?
I think it really highlights that, yeah. The competition for top AI talent is just fierce, even for Apple. His departure, it comes after this internal talk where he apparently compared the unfinished Siri to a record-setting swim that didn't quite reach the shore.
Ouch.
Yeah. And while his team size was reduced after his move to Answers, the project itself, that AI search initiative, it seems to be still on track for 2026.
So individuals matter, but the strategy persists.
It seems so. Top talent is mobile, but these big companies, their AI goals are pretty locked in.
Got it. But it's not all exits and layoffs.
Yeah.
OpenAI is actually investing in talent, but in a really different way. Tell us about this Grove program.
Right, OpenAI's Grove program. It's actually quite a smart mentorship initiative.
Okay.
It's designed for about 15 tech founders, really early stage, like pre-idea, pre-seed.
Very early.
Very early. And for 5 weeks, they get direct mentoring from OpenAI's technical leaders, early access to new tools, new models, plus in-person workshops at their HQ in San Francisco.
Sounds valuable.
It is, but here's the strategic bit.
Yeah.
After the 5 weeks, these founders can keep working internally with OpenAI. It fosters a potentially much longer relationship.
So it's nurturing the ecosystem.
Exactly. Nurturing the next wave, yes, but also, it's a pipeline. Potential collaborators, partners, maybe even acquisitions down the line for OpenAI.
A strategic investment in the future talent pool. Makes sense. Okay, now, let's talk money. Because this is where things get, really interesting, maybe even a bit wild. The financial side of AI just keeps impressing, right? We saw some absolutely massive valuations this week.
Absolutely staggering numbers.
So, but, some people might look at this and think tech bubble flashbacks. What makes this AI boom different? Or should we maybe be a bit cautious?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? And caution is always wise. Always. But the sheer utility, the potential impact of AI, It's hard to just dismiss.
Right.
Look at Cognition AI hitting a $10 billion valuation with new funding. Mistral AI doubled its valuation to $14 billion thanks to an ASML investment.
14 billion.
$14 billion. And Nebius raised $3 billion just for AI infrastructure after a Microsoft deal.
Okay.
So these huge rounds, they show this deep, sustained investor confidence. It's not just hype. It's capital going directly into product development, market expansion, and crucially, the infrastructure needed.
And speaking of infrastructure, it's not just the startups. Big tech is making colossal moves. Oracle and OpenAI.
Yeah, that Oracle deal, a massive $300 billion cloud agreement with OpenAI.
300 billion.
It just screams volumes about the scaling challenge in AI, right? The unbelievable amount of compute power and infrastructure these models need. Oracle and Larry Ellison, they're clearly positioning themselves as a key provider here, cashing in, basically.
So the infrastructure race is just as critical as the model race itself.
Absolutely. Maybe even more critical in some ways right now. It's like the picks and shovels in the AI gold rush. Oracle's playing that game very well.
Okay, another interesting business move. Tether. Big name in stablecoins. They're making a significant push into the U.S. market. That feels like a change of pace for them.
It's a huge pivot, actually. They're launching a U.S.-specific stablecoin called USAT.
USAT. Yeah.
And it's designed specifically to comply with the new legal framework from the Genius Act.
Ah, the new regulation.
Exactly. That recent bipartisan effort to bring some clarity to digital assets. This USAT project, it's led by Bo Hines, former White House digital assets official, interestingly.
Oh, interesting hire.
Yeah. Issued by Anchorage Digital, launching by year-end, and based in Charlotte, North Carolina.
So Tether, which mostly avoided the U.S. before, is now jumping in because there's clearer regulation.
That seems to be the main insight here. Regulatory clarity, even if it's still developing, can unlock massive new market opportunities. It's changing their whole global strategy.
But not all business models are quite so straightforward. You flagged a story about AnySphere's cursor coding assistant raises some tricky questions about data and ethics.
Yeah, this one's definitely a tightrope walk. AnySphere, the company behind Cursor.
The coding assistant, right.
Right. They're reportedly considering selling or licensing data about how engineers use their tools.
Selling user data.
Data on how it's used. And crucially, selling it to AI model makers, including potentially direct competitors like OpenAI, xAI, Anthropic for their model training.
Wow, okay. But what about their privacy policy?
Well, that's the rub. Their policy explicitly states they won't train on user data without explicit consent. So exploring this is happening despite that policy. The rationale seems to be offsetting the massive costs of running these AI models. Reports say they're facing, quote, dismal unit economics.
Meaning it costs more to run than they make per user.
Pretty much. So it raises that really tough question for you listening and for the industry.
Yeah.
Where's the line between a company's financial survival and, well, fundamental user privacy in this AI age?
That tension isn't going away, is it? Data as the new oil.
Exactly. It's only going to intensify.
Okay, so with all this happening, the money, the data issues, what does it mean for the rules of the road?
Right.
Regulation, ethics, even global competition. Let's start with something sensitive. Child safety.
Yeah, there was significant focus there this week. A U.S. regulator is probing AI chatbots.
Specifically how they impact kids.
Kids and teens, yes. And following that, Google Gemini was actually labeled high risk for kids and teens in a new safety assessment.
High risk.
Yeah. So the clear insight is this rapidly growing, urgent focus on deploying AI ethically, especially for vulnerable groups. Safeguards aren't optional anymore. They're essential.
And legislatively, here in the U.S., there seems to be movement, but maybe some disagreement too. How to regulate and promote AI.
Absolutely. It's a balancing act. We saw NVIDIA, the chip giant, they criticized a proposed U.S. bill, the GAIN AI Act. This bill wants to give American buyers first dibs on AI GPUs before they're sold overseas.
Controlling the hardware.
Right. Highlighting that tension between domestic focus and the global market. Then there's talk about when Congress should step in over state AI laws, learning from past tech rollouts.
Okay.
And you also have things like the Cruise AI Policy Framework and the Sandbox Act being pushed as ways to ensure American AI leadership focusing on innovation.
So it's a mix of wanting to boost innovation, but also control strategic resources.
That's the core tension, yeah. Accelerate, control, compete, and try to set ethical boundaries all at once. It's complex.
And it's definitely not just a domestic issue. The international stage is really heating up. Talk of power blocks in AI.
Oh, absolutely. Intense discussions about, the USA, China, Europe forming these competitive blocks in AI.
And Europe's strategy.
Well, Europe hopes to really join the race, leveraging its new supercomputer, Jupiter. But there's also this interesting perspective coming out of Europe
Yes.
that they don't necessarily have to just chase large language models like everyone else. They could focus elsewhere, maybe specialized industrial AI or ethical AI leadership. A different path.
Diversification as a strategy.
Exactly. It shows the huge geopolitical stakes. Nations are trying different angles, hardware control, unique development niches to secure their future in AI.
And then, just when you think you've heard it all, Albania, appointing the world's first AI-generated minister.
Yeah, that one definitely turned heads. It's surreal, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
What does that even signify?
Well, the full role isn't crystal clear from the reports yet, but the act itself, it signals a potential shift in how nations might think about governance, about public service in an AI future.
It certainly sparks conversation.
Oh, absolutely. It raises immediate questions about AI and official government roles, the boundaries, what political representation even means in that context. It's provocative. Shows some places are willing to experiment in ways we might have thought were pure sci-fi just years ago.
Okay, finally, let's shift to some of the incredible ways AI is actually being applied. And maybe what it makes us think about ourselves. What caught your eye this week?
The breadth is just striking. You've got Mundi launching Juice AI2 for legal research, combining agentic reasoning with research control. That could really change things for lawyers.
Specialized tools.
Very specialized. Then Oracle unveiled an AI Center of Excellence specifically for healthcare, trying to maximize AI value across clinical, operational, financial workflows.
So real-world impact in critical sectors.
Exactly. And even on a personal level, the FDA approved an Apple Watch feature for hypertension alerts. AI is getting deeply embedded in critical areas.
And it's not just practical stuff.
Yeah.
Education. Problem solving.
Yeah, the numbers show AI use in classrooms jumped sixfold in 2 years. Huge adoption rate. Tools like Notebook LM, ChatGPT being used for training within AI development itself.
Kind of meta.
Kind of meta, yeah. But maybe the most striking thing, a report that AI solved math proof that had stumped human mathematicians for months.
Okay, that's significant.
It really is. It's not just processing data, it's demonstrating a capability for complex, abstract problem solving. Previously, we thought that was purely human territory. It challenges our assumptions about intelligence itself.
Wow. And we also saw, what was it, a startup making 3,000 AI podcasts weekly.
3,000 weekly.
Yes, I can barely keep up with my feed now.
Tell me about it. And consumers using AI more for shopping, China's R1 robot challenging Tesla's Optimus. It really feels like it's seeping into everywhere.
It does, from content to commerce to actual robots.
It's ubiquitous. But all these applications, this pervasiveness, it brings up a deeper point, maybe a slightly unsettling one, about how we interact with AI and maybe how we interact with each other.
How so?
Well, Sam Altman from OpenAI made this really striking observation this week. He noted that people are starting to talk like AI.
Talk like AI.
Yeah, which he says makes some human interactions, his words, feel very fake.
Huh. That's really provocative, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just about using the tools.
No.
It's suggesting AI might be subtly changing how we communicate, how we express ourselves. Maybe even eroding authenticity.
That seems to be the implication, a subtle shift in our conversational patterns, maybe blurring the lines between genuine human talk and AI-influenced speech. The insight isn't just that AI is a tool, but maybe it's becoming an environment that's actually starting to shape us.
That's a heavy thought. So quite a week. From workforce strategies and staggering funding.
Billions and billions.
To regulations trying to catch up, safety concerns, geopolitical jostling, and these really profound questions about AI's impact on our humanity.
Yeah, it shows just how dynamic this whole landscape is. Not static at all. It's this rapidly evolving mix of innovation, ethics, money, strategy.
What really stands out is that incredible pace.
Yeah.
Right? Paired with the growing complexity of what it all means.
Absolutely. Companies pushing boundaries, regulators scrambling, global competition, and these huge societal questions popping up constantly.
So for you listening, the key takeaway, I think, is seeing these stories not just as isolated news items,
Right.
but as interconnected pieces, part of this massive complex puzzle that's genuinely reshaping our world like right now.
Couldn't agree more. So as you reflect on all this, maybe consider this final thought. If AI is already changing how we talk, how we interact, if it's solving problems that stumped us for months, how might it fundamentally redefine what we even mean by human creativity or human decision-making in the years ahead?
Are we ready for that future, where those lines get even blurrier?
That's the question to ponder.
Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the latest in AI.